In this video, we're going to take your Game Boy Advance to new heights with an epic upgrade. Picture a GBA equipped with a backlit IPS screen, RGB lighting, USB-C charging, and even the ability to connect to an external display and other controllers for gameplay. Looks awesome, right? I've already covered all the exciting features and my hands-on experience in another video, so if you haven't checked that out yet, make sure to give it a watch first. This time around, we're diving into the nitty-gritty of the modding process itself. Before we dive in, let's go through the parts we'll need for this project. First up is the dock kit. It includes an interface board, a pair of flex cables, a 40-pin ribbon cable, the dock itself, and a micro HDMI to HDMI cable. It comes in two models, 32-pin and 40-pin. To determine which one you need, check the numbers under your GBA's battery cover. If it starts with 0, go for the 40-pin model. If it starts with 1, opt for the 32-pin. My GBA starts with a 0, so I'm using the 40-pin. Next, my funny playing IPS screen kit includes an IPS screen, a driver board, an LCD bracket, and a custom shell designed specifically for the screen. Since it's fully laminated, it must be paired with compatible shells, other shells won't work. The kit also comes with both 32 and 40-pin cables, so no need to decide on a model beforehand. Other essentials include this LED flex cable from Handheld Legend, featuring individual LEDs for each of the 10 buttons. Pair it with new transparent membranes and buttons to make the lighting pop. Finally, my battery module is also from Funny Playing. It boasts an 1800 mAh lithium-ion battery and a USB-C port for charging. However, we'll be removing the USB-C port and merging it with the one on the dock kit's interface board. I've linked all these parts in the description below for your convenience. Let's get started. Before we begin, please understand that this video is designed to guide you through the entire process. Due to filming, the parts shown in the video may not be consistent throughout the process, but this will not affect anything. Always use your best judgment and remember, you're responsible for any outcomes. Also, fair warning, my soldering skills are pretty rough. I haven't improved much since I first picked up a soldering iron back in college over a decade ago. So if you want pro tips, check out other videos on YouTube. But here's the thing, if someone as bad at soldering as me can pull this off, you can too. Just grab a soldering iron and be patient. First things first, let's start by removing the battery cover and loosening those 6 tri-ring screws on the back. Once those are out, remove the Phillips screw at the bottom of the battery compartment to take off the back panel. Next, take out the side panels, left and right triggers, and power switch. We can disconnect the LCD ribbon cable. Unscrew the 3 Phillips screws on the GBA circuit board and carefully lift out the main board. Now it's time to modify the main board. Start by installing the left side of the flex cables from the dock kit. Peel off the release paper for the adhesive, align it with the soldering points on the main board, and get to work soldering them one by one. Repeat this process for the other side. Once those are done, we can remove the fuse from the back of the main board. The right side of the two contact points will be used later to connect to the dock kit's interface board. Next up is the LED flex cable. We'll need to cut this into 3 sections along the dotted lines. Start by soldering the D-pad section to the main board. Then move on to the A and B buttons. And finally connect the middle section to link both sides together. Before we start assembling everything, let's modify the shell to fit the dock kit's interface board. Begin by cutting a notch at the bottom of the front panel for the USB-C port. Place the interface board where it will go and mark the area you need to remove with a marker. Then grab your hand drill and start drilling. Here's how it should look afterward. You also need to adjust the height of the LCD bracket. Trimming all 4 sides worked for me, but I later found just cutting the bottom was enough. Right now, my screen doesn't lay completely flat. If you're after a perfect fit, try trimming the bottom edge first. If that's not enough space to buckle up the mainboard, you can always shorten the other sides later. Finally, modify the back panel's battery compartment to accommodate the interface board. Same as before, mark the area you need to remove with a marker and start drilling. It took me a few tries to get it right, but eventually I got the front and back panels to fit together perfectly. Here's how it should look afterward. Now, it's time to put everything together. Start by connecting the dock kit's 40-pin ribbon cable to the interface board. Then the IPS screen's 40-pin cable as well. Don't forget to tin the 3 pads on the IPS screen's cable. These will connect to the left and right triggers and the select button for adjusting the screen settings. The IPS screen's cable also has a touch sensor, But since it wasn't designed specifically for this dock kit, it's too short to install. We'll have to connect physical buttons for controlling the screen settings. Now, connect the interface board to the main board and start soldering the left and right triggers and the select button from the main board to the IPS screen's cable. The flex cables from the dock kit already have soldering points prepared for this purpose. To make things easier to identify, I connected the left trigger using a blue wire, the select button using a white wire, and the right trigger using a green wire. Once that's all connected, we can move on to modifying the screen's driver board. Since we are skipping the touch sensor, we should remove its connection point from the driver board. According to the datasheet of the 223 BTDS EMIC chip, we can do this by lifting off the third pin on the left. Once that's done, connect the IPS screen's ribbon cable to its driver board and install the new screen in your modified shell. Pop in the buttons and membranes, then plug in the screen and secure the interface board and main board firmly in place. Ensure everything lines up perfectly before screwing them in. Finally, hook up the dock kit's flex cable to the interface board. Before closing the case, we have to make 3 more connections between the interface board and the main board. Soldering the right side of the fuse connection point to F0, the battery positive terminal to BAT+, and negative to ground. Don't forget to add a wire to the 5-volt pad. It will be connected to the battery module later on. After finishing that up, reattach the triggers, side panels, and switch. Then slap on the back panel and buckle everything up. Before installing the battery module, you'll need to remove its USB-C port. Use desoldering wick and flux to make this step easier. Once that's done, swap out the AA battery contacts for a lithium battery and secure the module in place. To connect the 5-volt wire of the interface board to the battery module, locate the 5-volt soldering points on the battery module using a multimeter to test continuity. On most USB-C ports, the second pin on either side is usually the V-bus. When you find the right connection point, you'll hear a beep sound when your probes make contact. Otherwise, there's no sound. Once identified, Solder them together so the battery module and interface board share the same USB-C connection. Now, wire up the battery, slap on the battery cover, and voila, you're done. In my opinion, this mod is an intermediate level project. The hardest part is removing the USB-C port from the battery module. Everything else is pretty straightforward. The most tedious part might be trimming the shell, but if you follow the guidelines in this video, it should go smoothly. A small handheld drill will make things much easier. I think even someone with no experience can give this a shot. You'll pick up basic soldering and desoldering skills, plus how to modify shells. Once you've nailed this mod, most other mods should feel doable. Of course, beginners might want to have some spare parts on hand just in case, but I'm confident that with patience, you can pull it off in one go. So, what's holding you back? Do it or not? It all comes down to how much you love the GBA. If you haven't seen my review and hands-on video of this upgraded GBA yet, definitely check that out. And if this modding process has inspired you, give it a try. Drop your thoughts, questions, or suggestions in the comments below. Don't forget to hit like if you enjoyed this video, and if you're into tech or mods, consider subscribing to my channel for more content like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one.